Hey everybody, it's about 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. Wanted to send an update to all of you, and I'm going to try to make as much sense as I possibly can with this. But a lot has happened in the last few days, and so just trying to process everything. And I'm trying to make this as coherent as possible. So don't watch this and be like, "Man, Jesse wasn't making any sense at all." I'm just warning you right now. There's a chance that this won't make much sense or work. So if it doesn't, don't worry, but just a lot of things to think about and process over the last few days. So again, just to Sarah's wishes tonight, she's like, I really would like you to make an update. So here I am. I'm making an update, and there's a lot of things I may just randomly start talking about things that don't make much sense, but I know there's a lot of people that I want to thank as well. Um, and I hope I don't forget anybody, but I know I will. So I'm just going to apologize on the front end that everybody that has helped us through this whole process and even the past few days, past week, whatever. I just want to say thank you publicly, or as public as this platform gets, for all the love and support that you have shown. So again, update on Sarah. So last last update I did, I think, was maybe Monday or Tuesday of this week. So there's been a noticeable decline. I've noticed it since last Friday. I thought it was mainly maybe the medication that she was on, but she was able to get out a good bit last week and even go to soccer games last Sunday. And then she and I went out to lunch after I did a few errands for Run Hard. I think it was on Wednesday, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. And she was just in pain the entire time. It was not fun. I know she pushed through for me, I could tell, but it was not enjoyable for her. So the nurse came and visited her on Tuesday and again on Friday, and the nurse was aware and agreed with the decline. I was hoping it was more of the medicine, but it appears to be more the progression of the disease than the medicine. So just kind of fast forward to Friday morning. Sarah woke up and she was in extreme pain and didn't get much sleep, kind of in and out, off and on, all that. So she had mentioned to me if our friend Lindsay Forshee, she's the school nurse at Rocky Creek, she's like, can you please text Lindsay and see if she can come take care of me today? And just with Lindsay's nursing skills and all that, and she's like, if Lindsay can't, ask Amy. I just need somebody here to help. The CNAs with the hospice organization really just it wasn't working really well. Hospice, they've been nice as can be, but sometimes you just need that personal care of someone um, and all that. So we texted Lindsay, I think at 6 a.m. on Friday, and Lindsay almost responded immediately and said, yes, I'll come over, I'll help. And within an hour, both Lindsay and Amy were over here helping Sarah, taking care of Sarah, helping me take care of Sarah, get her up, do the things that we need to do. So I can't say thank you to them enough. They've been crucial the past few days in just helping manage Sarah's pain, get her comfortable, and just help her out. So that was Friday morning, and I have a race that I'm helping out with, get to the green event here in Columbia, and so I was in Columbia for a little bit, packet pickup, and I told Sarah I'm just gonna stay for a little while, come back. If you need me, call me. We had somebody, Lindsay and Amy were here, and I knew the hospice nurse was coming sometime during the day. I just didn't know when. So my dad and I, we went downtown and setting up, and then we came back, and on the way back, the hospice nurse calls me, and just kind of get that gut feeling in your stomach, and started talking to her, and she just kind of warned me. She's like, she has declined, and she said that her blood pressure was not good, and that there was any family that would like to see her, I need to make that call to them to come and see her. Her blood pressure was at a concerning level, and she said you need to call any family to come see her if they want to see her. So it was about 3 o'clock. I made it home before the hospice nurse left. I talked to the hospice nurse for a minute or two before I went in and saw Sarah and talked to her again. And I mean, I'd be lying if I say it's not, it's one of the most difficult things in life is seeing someone you love more than anything just suffer. That's probably the definition of torture. It's just hard to watch, like something suck the life out of somebody. But through this whole process, Sarah has been a trooper and has been an inspiration, 100% inspiration. So I talked to the hospice nurse. Hospice nurse left, stayed there with Sarah for a little bit longer in the bed, talked to her, and then I started making phone calls and just texted, some family and just told them the situation. And then I let my team of people know that I was going to be unable to be at the race on Saturday, overseeing that, managing that, and it was instantly that they jumped in and said, no worries, we got it, don't even worry about it. They were at my house probably within the hour, maybe hour and a half max, loading stuff, getting stuff ready, and just reassuring me that everything was gonna be okay. So I have a lot of trust in my team and the people that help out. It was incredible. So I can't thank Scott and Jody and Trey and my dad and all the course marshals, bikers. I mean, all those people. I just Brandon and Amy jumped in again. So I just can't thank all of you guys enough to jump in and help out with the race and to make it flawless. It went well this morning. And so they jumped in almost immediately, and so it allowed me just to stay here and just be with Sarah, Friday evening, and made those texts and made phone calls, and then probably the hardest part was when Georgia came home and I was trying to hold it together, compose myself. And so I'm the emotional one in the family. Sarah is more, she's more the rational thinker. Me, I'm the one that likes to, dance, cry, laugh, and sing. That's me. That's what I love to do. And so I'm the emotional one. And so when Georgia came home, I knew I was going to talk to Georgia. So she came in, and I know she could see it on my face. I can see it in her eyes. And then I just hugged her, and I lost it. And she's like, what's wrong? What happened? I just had to tell her, Mom's not doing well. She's probably not gonna make it much longer. Hospice nurse says maybe a few days, all that kind of stuff. And that's just a guess. They're just guessing. Nothing's set in stone. They're just going off the measurables they have. So there's one person that knows when our time is going to be. And so it's. I told her that, and she starts. She's very upset, crying and holding her, and it's one of those things that you never really can prepare for, is holding your kid whenever they're having to walk through a life situation like this. It's nothing can prepare you for that. It just can't. That was a tough moment, just holding her, and in those moments you just think, your mind just starts flashing back really quick of just those moments where I've held her. I think back when I held her for the first time, and the joy Sarah and I had, just being parents, and now, you know, flash forward 14 years, and now I'm holding her again, as she's heartbroken, and I can prepare, I can prepare me and all that, but trying to help a 14-year-old understand death and all that is just hard. So that wasn't too easy. So it gave us a moment for me to take Georgia back to the bedroom and just sit with Sarah and cry a little bit, and have those moments, special moments that Georgia will remember forever, and moments that mean a whole lot to Sarah, and for Sarah to reassure Georgia that about, hey, this is the backbone of our faith. This life is not all that we live for. So it was tough to just to see that, and but that was good for them, and so it just it allowed opportunity just for Georgia to begin that just the mental processing of everything, and then just based on the text I had sent earlier, her Columbia College friends just started to come by, and it's just a special group of women. I know Sarah's known them since she went to college, and so it's been 25 years, since she enrolled at Columbia College, and I mean, those friends are just special. I can't say enough about them. And then some teacher friends came by, Julie and Aaron, and Stacy came by and just started talking to Georgia, started talking to the boys, and just making sure that they're okay, that they're laughing. And Sarah made a comment that she heard Georgia laughing from the other room, and that just did so much for her soul, just to hear Georgia laughing. Because, as a parent, what brings us the greatest joy is to seeing our children just experience the joy of life. And during this time, it's just, there's not much joy. So that was good, just to hear Sarah say that. So all her friends came over and just spent some time and talked to her. And I mean, it was just, you see that bond, and it's just special. I tell my kids, I tell them all the time, I'm like, you're going to grow up in a time where your peers and your culture is obsessed with followers and how many followers you have. And that's going to almost create this false idea of worth or value or popularity, but never get that confused with real life, because followers, they don't come to funerals. Friends and family do. So be intentional about your relationships. The relationships you make with people, make them intentional. Let people know they matter, and you care for them. You listen to them, and you think about what matters, because you think we live in a culture now where there's a lot of things that divide us, a lot. But in all reality, like, we are created to be people of that thrive on relationships. So be intentional about that. And I've been able to see that intentionality lived out through the different friend groups and the people that have loved on us since the very beginning. So it allowed a great teachable moment for my kids, just to see friends that have loved on their mom for as long as they've been alive, So that intentionality about relationships is so important. So that was a good time to just say, hey kids, remember what's most important. You're seeing it lived out. Would have liked to seen it lived out in another way. I'll be honest, but being able for my kids to see it lived out has been valuable. Shout out to Kim and Brad. They scooped up our boys, and they have 3 kids of their own. So they're like, I'll take your craziest 3 and we'll take them with me, so that says a lot. We appreciate that. There's a certain type of craziness that you have to be to take my kids away for the night and just say, hey, come hang out with us. So that was great. They took our kids to get to the green race. My boy's been looking to run in the mile for a few weeks, and so their kids ran it with my kids and their family. And so even though it was heartbreaking for me not to be there, it was so fulfilling for me to be able to be here with Sarah. And I knew that being there this morning was not even an option, because that'd be the greatest regret I'd ever have, is if something happened and I was at the race and not here. So no regrets at all there. But shout out to Kim and Brad for taking our kids and just saying, hey, we got them. And even Brad took them to Sheely's, all 6 kids, my 3 boys, his 3 kids, to a buffet, just him. I think Kim was back home resting, and he's like, yeah, I'll take him to a buffet by myself. So that takes guts. So shout out to him for that. That was so. Thank you for taking the kids. Last night was better for Sarah. She was able to sleep till about 4:30 in the morning on Saturday, and got up, and so we started doing her morning routine where she takes her medication. And right now she's really unable to get up and move at all. She's really confined to the bed. She might be able to muster up some strength to do some things that she needs to do, but for the most part, 99% of the time she's in the bed. And so got a little morning routine where she gets cleaned up, freshened up, and all that. And so shout out to Erin McQuaid. She spent the night last night and helped with Sarah anytime that I needed to leave her side. Erin was there, all that. And then Stacy came over early in the morning as well. Kind of funny story how Sarah is even looking out for me while she's we talked about this more. I'm like, Sarah, you're literally on your deathbed and you're still saving the day. So here's the story. We get out at 4:30. I'm giving her medicine, all that kind of stuff, and she's like, I want some ice and some water in it. Well, we have bought these bags of Sonic ice. That's the kind of ice that she likes, and we store them in our freezer in the garage. And so I'm going out to the garage to get the ice to put in her cup, to get some water for her, all that. And when I go out to the garage, there's 5 boxes of medals for the get to the green race that need to be at the finish line. And so that's 600 medals I have on my garage floor that need to be at the finish line, because we are maxed out in everything. And so then I freak out. I was like, oh Lord, I'm gonna have to go downtown now. Nobody's gonna stay here. Or Aaron was here with Sarah. I was like, I gotta get somebody to stay here in case Aaron needs help, all that. So my mind goes into fixing mode all of a sudden. But long story short, I was able to get somebody to take the medals. That's fine. I come back in. I'm like, Sarah, if you wouldn't have asked for the water or to get more ice, I never would have seen those medals in time. They needed to be there before 7:30 a.m. And so I'm like, every race before, I would leave the house and I'd always call Sarah and I would be like, I forgot this. Can you bring it with you when you come? She even started before she started doing this before she would leave the house. She would always text me or call me and be like, okay, what did you forget this time that I need to bring to you? So again, that happened today, except I didn't leave. I just went out to the garage to get the ice, and I noticed the medals that were not that were still there and we're not at the finish line. So if you wouldn't have asked for the ice, then I wouldn't have seen the medals in time, and it would have caused a really bad thing at the finish line. So thank you to Sarah for saving the day again. That was a cool moment this morning. Again, shout out to Aaron and Stacy. We were able to help Sarah take a shower this morning and all that. It was just good for her just to get refreshed and get some glamour shots going on, and all that was you can tell that it just made Sarah feel better. And Sarah's had a great day today. I mean, she was able to eat more. She's been able to feel less pain and all that. So everything that we've been asking you to pray for, is really starting to happen. So that was a good thing. That the pain has not been as bad today. So we pray for that pain to continue to lessen and for it to be managed. She made a comment tonight. She's like, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better. And I reassured her, I'm like, yes, you are. I am here to help you get better. Let's go. Let's do it. And so, that's part of it. You got to start with your mind. That's part of the battle. You got to win your mind first and let your mind take over to help with the physical side of it. So that was just good and refreshing to hear tonight. And then she made a comment about making this video. And so, during this last, 24 hours, I've just thought back to all the many times that we've just seen God through this whole process. And it's been painful. It's been confusing. Obviously, I'll never understand it, but that my inability to understand does not mean that we haven't seen God through it all. I'll just share one story with you. And I know this is gone, like I'm at 23 minutes already. So good Lord, this is going to be a 30-minute update, but that's okay. So one of the stories that we've seen God through it all, I just think back to, we were in May and we were in Houston to see about Sarah's trial treatment and how it was working, if it was being effective. And we had just left MD Anderson, meeting with the oncologist, and him telling us that the trial wasn't working, cancer was growing, and they were going to take her off the trial, and there could possibly be other things, but at this point there was nothing else that they could do. So that was a hard car ride home, or not home, but back to the hotel. And I'm in the hotel, or we're driving back to the hotel. I'm in the car, my mind's just going, and I was like, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, man, I need somebody to talk to, somebody that's gone through this, a guy that knows what it's like to sit beside his wife that is battling cancer, and the trial's not working, and she's upset, I'm upset, I want to fix it, I want to help her, and I was like, God, I need somebody to talk to. I don't know who to call, I don't know their number, I need somebody to talk to. And that was the prayer going through my mind. I'm trying to hold it together. I got my kids in the back, my wife in the passenger seat. And I'm just like, Jesse, hold it together. You can't lose it right now. And in my mind, I'm like, I just really, I could benefit from talking to somebody that knows this situation. And so it was probably a 10 to 15 minute drive back to our hotel. And we pull in the hotel parking lot. I pull into the parking spot, and I hadn't even unbuckled my seat yet. My phone starts ringing, and It's a guy by the name of Sid Backus. So I looked down on my phone. I'm like, huh, look at that, Sid Backus. And Sarah goes, well, answer it. I was like, you think I should? And she's like, yeah, answer it. So who's Sid Backus? So rewind. I'll tell you who Sid Backus is. So we were in the infusion room, 5th floor, Medical Park 3 at Lexington Medical Center, and that's where people get infusion for. Most people in there are going through cancer, and one of the cancer treatments in February of 2024, or February, beginning of 2024, we sat across from a couple. Wife was in the chair getting treatments, husband was sitting there in the chair, and you're there for a few hours, and your options are you can either talk to the other people or you can just stare at them awkwardly for a few hours. So me, being the person that I am, I just like to talk to people. So we ended up striking up a conversation, and they tell us, kind of what cancer his wife has and all that, and we talk, we introduce ourselves and all that, and infusion finishes, and few hours later, and then we leave, and wish him well, tell him we're praying for him. Come to find out he was a pastor and all that, and they had a teenage son, and so those people just stick with you because sometimes you see them on a recurring basis. Well, anyway, that infusion was the one that made Sarah really sick and landed her in the hospital for 5 days in February of 2024. And so one of the days we're in the hospital, going down to the cafeteria to get some food, and go to get on the elevator, the doors go to shut, and the doors almost shut, and then they open back up, and then all of us have the same reaction. We're like, oh, I was so close to being able to ride the elevator by myself, and then somebody gets on, you're like, oh Lord, this is gonna be awkward, I have to talk to them, all that. Well, then doors open up, and then Sid gets on the elevator, and we're like, hey, we know each other. I just saw you at the infusion room a couple weeks ago and all that. Well, his wife was also in the hospital, and Sarah, and I was telling him, that she just struggled with her strength, and in the elevator ride, he was starting to tell me these different smoothie recipes that he started making for his wife. We get off the elevator, and so we talk for about 30-40 minutes, and I give him my phone number, and he's like, I'm going to send you some smoothie recipes that you can make for your wife. And my wife loves the chocolate peanut butter and all that kind of stuff. So he sends me those recipes. So I buy a blender, and when Sarah gets discharged, we're back home. I start making smoothies and stuff for her, which she says tasted absolutely horrible, but I did my best to make the smoothies for her. And so I would think about Sid from February, March, and April, and I would just think, how he was doing, and I saw where she had passed away from her pancreatic cancer, and I'd sent him a text and just told him I was praying for him. Sorry, hear the news, all that, and he never responded to any of that, which is I totally get. No worries. I didn't even want a response. I just wanted him to know that there was somebody else out there that was thinking of him, praying for him, and that I was appreciative of just the recipes that he had sent. And so that went on a few months, and then Sarah became a recipient of this Rainbow Restoration Rainbow Golf Classic, and we were looking through the past recipients of this Rainbow Golf Tournament, and Sid's wife was one of them, and we recognized her. I was like, wow, look at that, Sarah. We met Sid in the hospital and all that, so we made that connection there, and so that was really cool to see that connection. Well, anyway, fast forward, that's how I knew of Sid and Sid and I's relationship, and so when he called, I was like, there's Sid, and so it just went back to all the recipes and everything in my mind, and I answered the call, and I was like, Sid, how's it going, man? And he's like, Jesse, I'm sitting here, and I just opened my email, and and I saw where your wife's a recipient at the golf tournament that my wife was a part of a couple years ago. And when I saw your wife, God just laid it on my heart to give you a call. And he's like, I didn't have your number. I couldn't remember your number. I couldn't remember your name. So the only thing I had in my phone that I could remember was our conversation about smoothies. So he's like, I just put in my text search smoothie, and then that's how I found your name and your number. So I just wanted to call because God laid on my heart that I should give you a call. You can chalk that up as coincidence, or whatever you want to call it, but that's one of many moments where we just sit back and say, that's all you, God. We couldn't have orchestrated that any better. I haven't spoken to Sid on the phone or in person for months. And I'm riding in the car and I'm just like, I just need to talk to somebody, praying mentally because I'm spiraling. And as I pull back into the hotel parking lot, Sid gives me a call. He knew exactly what I was going through. He watched it with his wife. He saw her struggle. He knew everything. And so that's one of those moments where, sometimes in this, you just feel like that, hey, God, where are you? But it's in those moments where he's like, I just want you to know that I'm here. I know what's going on. And as hard as this may be, no one loves you more than I do. Nobody knows what's going on more than I do. So just know I'm here. And it's in those moments where you see God work and you're just like, okay, I don't understand, but I'm going to trust. And so the story of Sid, I don't know, Sid, if you're watching this or if this will ever cross your path. I don't know, internet, do your thing. And so it was in that moment that thank you for being obedient. Thank you for being obedient and give me that call, So this has gone long enough. And I just want to thank all of you. I wanted to send an update. Sarah wanted me to send an update. She asked me to do that tonight. She's probably wondering where in the world I'm at. But she wanted me to send an update to let you know that it has not gotten better. It has gotten worse. But we feel the prayers. Keep praying. Pray for less pain. Pray for more time. And pray for God to be merciful. And I think we can't thank you enough for the love and care that you've shown my family. And the lessons that you've allowed me to teach my children. Teach them about love. Teach them about friendships. Teach them about what matters in life. And it's not stuff. It's people. And why it's important to be intentional about relationships. So we thank you for that. I thank you for that. So all that said, thank you for praying for us. We love each and every one of you. And I'll send an update again soon, pretty much when Sarah tells me to. I'll send you an update. So thanks again for praying. And remember, fight hard.